This is the Following the Nerd podcast. And we're live. Ooh, hey, bit of feedback. And we're live. Tweaking. Yes. Okay, during the week, you had the pleasure of speaking to Mr. Jeff Wayne.
Yes, Mr. Jeff Wayne, brother of Bruce, good friend of my dad's. Yeah. No, of course, he is the man who is responsible for composing the music for the War of the Worlds stage show.
Yes.
And I would have been much more excited about that had I been you, because you love the man, don't you?
I'm a big fan of the War of the Worlds.
You want to marry him and have his babies, don't you?
I'm not quite sure I go that far.
I think you would.
Little Wayne.
From all the texts and emails that you were sending me.
Like one or two.
Yeah.
I sent you questions.
See,
ask the man this.
Yes. Yeah, because you were going like, I'm such a big fan of him, and I can't believe I don't get to interview him. And then you give the interview to me, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy.
He warmed up to me toward the end of the interview, I'll be honest.
Yeah, you could tell from the interview that, I don't think it was you. I think he just, it was like, another interview.
Yeah, I have to talk about all this stuff again, but of course your masterful wordplay with your questions.
Oh, aye, easy.
Really allowed me to bring out the sensitive side of the man. I think I think we really we got some defences down by the end of that interview.
Oh, aye, right. So we're going to play that later on in the show.
Well,
and we're going to be talking to a gentleman called Jake Steele around about 9:30. That's very, very soon, about 20 minutes or so. And he's the chap, he's the illustrator, he's the man that draws. There's a book out at the minute called How to Speak Droid with R2D2, and there's another one. Quiet, R2. I am not going to Dagobah.
R2, for the last time, will you shut your mouth?
Yes.
You stupid.
I see.
Alright, calm down there.
So, so we're going to be talking to Jake later on about what it's like to be doing. And of course, he has another graphic novel coming
Shut up! Bad droid!
He has his own graphic novel coming up as well later on this year. We'll be talking about that too. So that's coming up. And of course, as I say, we're going to play the Jeff Wayne interview. Now, this was a big week for Family Guy fans.
This was an incredibly terrifying and heartbreaking week for Family Guy fans.
It was. It really, really was.
It was just a couple of skin flakes and hair, so I don't really know if they could get much DNA off that.
Right. Yes.
BOC.
I'm loving this T-shirt, by the way. Your Space Invaders.
Oh, my Space Invaders T-shirt. Yeah. I'm feeling very retro.
It's very, very remiss of us to say that about anybody out there in the US listening to us. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Happy and healthy Thanksgiving, everyone. Enjoy your turkey.
Happy Hanukkah as well.
Chanukah.
It's a big occasion. And we also like to say anybody that's listening to podcast land, the date. So obviously today is the 20th of November.
Yep. A lot of turkeys being eaten, a lot of dreidels being spun.
A lot of unhappy turkeys. It's not a good time of year for turkeys.
Not really. So it's a great idea for where is it? DreamWorks to release that movie about turkeys. Have you seen that?
No.
The animated movie?
No.
It's about like turkeys. Like, I'm sure Stuart will tell you, but it's about like I saw the trailer for it.
Free Birds or something?
Yeah,
like yeah.
I saw the trailer for it the other day. I was at the cinema seeing Thor again for like the millionth time, and I saw the trailer for it, and it's like it's about turkeys that go back in time to the first Thanksgiving, and honestly, it looks like a great substitute for some type of narcotic.
Right.
Watching that movie, it just looks
traveling
mental.
Turkeys, all the teas, huh?
Yeah,
all the teas.
We love the teas. Right. What's going on there?
No idea.
A little bit of a back and beat there as I talk about time traveling turkeys.
That's kind of worked.
We're here talking about the triple T's.
Okay, right. Like let's every now and again, a news story comes out, and you don't see it coming. You're just like,
no.
What was this? And it kind of happened this week. Family Guy.
Yeah.
Family Guy did it this week.
Yeah, they did it all right.
And they've done it in spectacular fashion.
They have quite literally, and do you know what? I'm just going to come out and say it. Screwed the pooch.
Yes, they have. Yeah. Shocking. A shocking bit of TV. I have to say, even for a cartoon, it was right up there, with the, where's my money? Where's my money? That thing?
Okay, for the UK listeners and those people who haven't seen it yet, or illegally downloaded it, whatever,
I think it's all
spoilers.
over. I know, but we did this, and everybody was like, "Well, it's already been spoiled for us." I think everybody knows at this stage, and I know some of the other radio stations have been talking about it. And we did try to keep it spoiler free. We went with a major Family Guy character has been killed off, and blah blah blah. And everybody underneath it was like, "No, this has already been ruined for us." So it is it sensationalist? Is it just to get ratings? Is that why they've done this?
See, I have my own theories about this. We may as well just come out and say it. Brian Griffin is dead.
Yes.
The dog is gone.
You know what?
Dog
Listen,
gone.
I'll tell you what we'll do. I have the clip here, okay? Before we go any further, let's take a wee listen.
Okay. Or not.
Brian, look out!
Now, that was Brian getting run over.
Yes, it was.
In a horrific fashion.
Spectacular style, because he goes under both wheels of the car.
Yeah, and they animate it. It really happens. It really happens.
But the thing is, I find it very hard to accept that he's dead. Because we've seen him take far worse punishment. There's the "Where's My Money" scene, where he was messed up far worse than that.
Yeah. But let's take... This is the aftermath, okay? This is after Brian has been run over.
Oh my God! Brian, can you hear me?
Holy crap, what the hell happened? That guy sucked.
Mom, is Brian gonna be okay?
I don't know, Meg, but this is the best veterinarian in Quahog. Brian's getting the finest care there is.
He had to share the ambulance with a chicken.
Aren't you supposed to be running around?
Don't talk to me. You have a bad reputation in the chicken community.
Doctor, how is Brian? Is he gonna be okay?
I'm so sorry, Mrs. Griffin, but Brian's injuries are just too severe for us to save him. I don't know how much longer he has, but I suggest that you all go in and say your goodbyes.
I can't believe it. You really...
Damn it, Brian, you can't die. We were going to do so many things together. We were going to become windsurfers. I was going to be a little better than you, but we were both going to be good.
You guys, I think Brian's trying to say something.
You've given me a wonderful life. I love you all.
I'm sorry. He's gone.
Oh my God. He's...
Yes, Chris. I'm afraid that our Brian is dead.
Of all the souls I've encountered in my travels, his was the most human. Oh, it is.
You know what? Okay, right. That was a gut-wrenching bit.
Gut-wrenching indeed.
It's when Stewie starts to cry.
Yeah.
It's when Stewie starts to cry. And let's be honest, I think we all thought it was going to be Meg.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be Meg.
Yeah.
Because, Mila Kunis's career is really starting to take off. Like, she can't afford to run down to a pesky old studio and get paid ridiculous amounts of money just to lend her vocal cords for a few hours a day, huh?
Well, that's true. But yeah. Okay, right, here's the thing. Why can Stewie... Now, I haven't seen the episode. Okay, and I hear that there is an explanation for this. Why can Stewie not just go back in his time machine and save him?
Because they destroy the time machine at the start of the episode.
That was convenient. Why did they destroy the time machine?
Because it starts off with Stewie and Brian going back to, or in this alternate future where Indians have taken over.
Right.
Like, Native Americans have taken over. So, because they went back in time and gave the Native Americans guns and AK-47s and stuff
Right.
before the frontier people showed up. So obviously they were able to keep their land.
Right.
So then that severely messed things up. So Stewie says, like, do you know what he does a Doc Brown essentially, and he says, you know, like,
Let's get rid of
whenever
this.
we get back, let's destroy the time machine. So he smashes it all up to bits, and then Brian gets run over, and then Stewie says, oh, well, I'll have to rebuild my time machine and go back and save Brian, but he can't get the parts anymore. So
Right.
Stewie is sans time machine.
Is this the end of Brian?
Do you know, I've been thinking about it, probably.
They've
'Cause
replaced him, right?
Yeah, he's pretty much dead. My theory behind why they've decided to kill off Brian is because Seth MacFarlane on Family Guy voices Quagmire, voices Stewie, voices Peter, and also Brian as well. So, and then that plus all the characters he voices on American Dad, plus the fact he's off making movies at the moment. He's clearly he's a very busy guy, and of all the voices he does, Brian is his voice that he does normally.
Right.
So and obviously because they've replaced him with a new character, Vinny, who's played by a different actor. I'm kind of guessing that's why they killed off Brian, you know, just to give Seth MacFarlane a bit more breathing space.
It's a very ballsy move. I mean, to me, it's like killing off Bart Simpson.
Well, maybe not Bart. Maybe Maggie.
Well, Maggie.
And don't kill off Maggie.
Or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's up there with that. Because Family Guy's been around now for, 13 years?
Yes, 1999, so 14 years.
14 years. And I don't know, I'm sure you were. I was on board pretty early on.
Yeah.
And you kind of... And I know it's still not as good. It's like The Simpsons. It's not as good now as it used to be, but it's still pretty good.
I think it's
And
still
I still
funny.
love it is still funny. I have never turned over an episode of Family Guy, whether I've seen it or not, and not laughed at least half a dozen times during the episode. It's usually really childish laughter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, oh my god, that is so stupid, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
But you do kind of get used to these characters, and you get familiar with them.
You do, and it's changed the dynamic of the show now.
Yeah.
Because the new dog, you haven't seen the new dog,
I've
have
seen
you?
a picture of him.
But you haven't seen him
the
in
character.
action?
No.
Well, he talks like that. He's a bit of an Italian wise guy.
Right.
And he doesn't really fit in with the rest of the family.
Okay.
At all.
Is he voiced by somebody from The Sopranos?
He's voiced by a guy from The Sopranos whose name I don't really recall at this current moment in time.
Right, okay. But
I'll stop talking like that now.
Yes, please do. And is he is he a different kind of character? Is he more of an antagonist than Brian was? Is he?
No, not really, because he wins over the family pretty quickly, and then, you know, Stewie's just kind of the stalwart that's left going, but Brian, what about Brian? You know, and then eventually Vinny wins him around at the end of the episode too. So, like, you know, that's it for Brian. He's gone. He's out of the opening titles, and Vinny has now replaced him in the titles, but I don't know, because if this goes down incredibly badly and continues to go down badly, maybe they'll do a Dallas where it was all a dream or some nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because even the design of Vinny looks so different from Brian. You know? Like, Brian looked quite safe and, you know, Snoopy he was, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
And now Vinny, you know, he's got like a kind of cone-shaped nose. He kind of looks a bit like a shark.
Yeah, he's a very different looking character.
Yeah.
But I have to say, that did shock me. I don't get shocked often, and obviously I got over it pretty quickly, but I did think that for an animated series and for something as lighthearted, I know Family Guy is this stuff, but it is pretty lighthearted. It is entertainment. That was a pretty harrowing scene. It was pretty hard-hitting, and it was quite shocking.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the new episodes from this season yet?
No, I'm at least 2 or 3 seasons behind on Family Guy.
Right, okay. Well, the episode before was about Brian being uncomfortable because Peter kept being naked around him.
Right.
So, like, eventually, by the end of the episode, Stewie says to him, well, why don't you just be naked around Peter? And Brian says, I'm a dog, I'm always naked.
Right.
And Stewie says, well, why don't you just shave your fur off? So at the end of the episode, you see Brian minus his fur, and it's the most disgusting thing you'll ever see.
Okay.
Because he's just got this saggy, like, pink skin and like 8 nipples, and he just looks so frail and disgusting.
Right. Okay, on to Google after that. Right, okay.
So,
yeah.
R.I.P. Brian.
He was a good dog, and we do miss him.
Yeah, good boy.
Good boy. Okay, this is Shine 102.4 FM, and you are Following the Nerd. You can get us on Facebook at facebook.com/Following the Nerd. You can tweet us at NerdFollowing. I'm Mark.
And
And
that's droid speak for Saxon.
We'll be right back after.
R2 misses him.
Hi, this is Ashley X. Stein, voice of Ahsoka Tano on Star Wars The Clone Wars, and I follow the nerd.
Right, okay, this is following it. Right, it's time for our first